Can you tell the country, sir, why you are content with all the fanfare around this deal to leave the conscience of this nation and the strength of this nation unaccounted for in relation to these 4 Americans?
I got to give you credit, Major, for how you craft those questions. The notion that I'm content as I celebrate with American citizens languishing in Iranian jails, Major, that's nonsense. And you should know better.
All right, folks, joining us now is the wife of one of those Americans being held in an Iranian prison, Negba Abedini, wife of Pastor Saeed Abedini, held in Iran since July of 2012. Check out the website, facebook.com/pray for Pastor Saeed Abedini. Negba, welcome back. When you heard Major Garrett ask that question, which I thought was just a wonderful question, what were you thinking?
Well, I was watching the news conference hoping someone would mention the prisoners, and I was glad that it was brought up. And, you know, I don't think the president is not concerned. I do think he does care about the prisoners, but I think the nuclear deal had a higher priority, and unfortunately that meant my husband's issue had to be pushed on the sidelines and not as much of a priority. Well,
you know, it's interesting you say that, because he went on to elaborate that we couldn't make it a part of the negotiation because then they would want more concessions from us, blah, 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 which to me didn't make any sense. But then today, John Kerry comes out, quoted by the Associated Press, and says there was not one meeting that took place during the negotiations that the U.S. didn't raise the issue of the 4 Americans held in Iran, which seems to differ from the president. Certainly the president didn't say that.
Exactly. John Kerry made indications that there was discussions with Zarif, the foreign minister, so that was interesting. You know, it's just, I think even before we sat down with the Iranian government, as the United States of America, we should have said, release the Americans you're holding hostage, and then we will talk. And I think it's just by having made a deal, and we're losing more leverage as time goes by to get Saeed and the other Americans out. And unfortunately, I haven't been given the assurance that their release is secured yet.
Since this deal has been, I know you were holding out hope, as a lot of us were, that somehow, if they announced a deal, that this would be a part of it, or there would be some acknowledgement, or maybe one of the 4 would get out, or something. And whether you expressed that out loud, I don't know if you did, because, you know, it was a very tenuous time, and you met with the president, the whole thing, and you had your hopes. Now the talks are over. Now the natural thing I would imagine, for you to feel is, what leverage do we have? Well, how are we going to get them out now? You know, so what is going through your mind?
Exactly. I didn't necessarily want Saeed to be part of the deal. And I didn't expect it because I didn't want for the U.S. and the whole world to give up something for that as part of the nuclear deal, something like that. But I've always, talking with State Department and the White House, had hopes that it was being discussed on the sidelines. And when I heard about that a deal was made, I was expecting to get a news that the Americans were being released as well, at least securing their release on the sidelines. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. But we have lost a lot of leverage. Now the Congress gets to look at the deal, and I'm hoping that as the Congress looks at the deal, they make sure that the Americans are not left behind as we move forward.
So you would hope that they would somehow insist in their response to this deal that the prisoners be released before the deal be approved.
Exactly, to say, you know what, Iran, we're looking at this deal, and if you want to enter into a better relationship with our country, they need to be released. For our Congress to make sure, at least on the sidelines, it's been secured. Their release has been secured before they approve anything. So I'm hoping that our Congress will consider the Americans that are being held hostage before they move forward.
And again, I know we always talk about the kids. It gets harder and harder for them, doesn't it?
It does. You know, it's not. We're not just some news. We're a family that's torn apart. My daughter was 5 when she saw her dad, and she will be 9 in a few months. And it's just, it's been hard. It's been a pain we have carried with us every single day, and I was hoping that the pain would be over, and it's not, and so I have to get back. It was a hard blow for me and my family, but I just have to get back up again and continue to fight for my husband's release.
All right. Let's hope and pray that this will be remedied, and everyone call your congressman and senator. 202-225-3121, 202-225-3121. That's the switchboard. I have it in my mind. Negma, have a great weekend and good luck. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, President of Live Action, Lila Rose, about the latest Planned Parenthood fiasco.